I don't know how to say this. I'm basically, when I read Bible stories, I see energy and how it works and how it works and how it flows. And so, yes, I do see that. And so let me explain how I see this statement by Jesus in Luke 13:24. Jesus answers a question from the apostles. And he says, "Make every effort to enter through the narrow door, for many, I tell you, will try to enter and will not be able." And then he says, "As the master of the house gets up and shuts the door, you will stand outside knocking, saying, 'Lord, open the door to us.' But he will reply, 'I do not know where you are from.'" And it was so interesting because I thought about what that means in terms of energy in the human energy field in the portal of the heart. And I want to give you an idea of what this looks like. So I'm going to use two colors here, two circles, to represent consciousness, our point of focus. So that would be the gold and that would be the black. And I'm going to use this image that I have used in many of my videos of the sun, and I've got a circle around the sun. So we're going to use the sun to represent the human soul connection and the circle to represent the human energy field. So within here is the human body. Okay, so, but I'm focused on how the energy flows. This would be the portal of the heart, in my view. This would be what Jesus described as the narrow gate. You know, but once we enter through that narrow gate, we can start to expand it within our physical forms. And we can consciously attempt to bring that out into our whole body and our whole energy field. So now I'm going to pretend that I'm talking about being a human, having this potential of soul connection within the energy field. So I can have my point of consciousness here. And if I have my point of consciousness here, that's illustrating the attempt and the choice to enter through the narrow gate, to enter the portal of the soul in the heart, the portal of the heart, the soul connection. Actually, in my in my human energy second level class, and last week I I explained a vision that I had had about this very concept and about how my soul was attempting to contact me, but the entry point was so small. And it wanted me to make a connection, a living connection. The living divinity that birthed me wanted me to make a connection, but the point was so small and it couldn't get to me. I mean, it could only get to me that little tiny pinhead of a opening, the narrow gate. And so through conscious intent to connect through that, and then to expand the gate within the self. Right? We can expand that living connection and then allow it to fill the human body, to fill the human energy field. Okay, so that whole series starts with the point of focus here. The golden point of focus here, the choice, conscious choice as a living human to connect with the living soul, with the living divinity that we are. Now, when we talk about this, for example, in church or people pray, often the prayer is outside, praying to God outside the self. But the fact is, the connection with God, the Most High, the Creator of the universe, the connection with your own soul, the connection with the divinity that you are, is actually within. You actually have to turn within and then do that request, is how I have experienced this and how I believe it actually works. Okay, now here's another point of consciousness, okay? And as a living human, I can have either of these points of consciousness. Now this point of consciousness is the consciousness where I'm just out in my energy field, and the closer I get to that point of soul connection, the lighter I feel. The further that I get, I feel a little bit heavier. And when I'm really far out from that point of connection, I can feel really dense, really low, down, angry even, sad, super depressed. And in my view, those are all states of being and states of consciousness where we don't feel the connection with the soul. See that? Yeah. It's sad, right? We sometimes don't even know that we can make that connection. So as we come to light and realize that that's possible, we can simply come over here and say, okay, I've changed my mind. I immediately switch to gold when I do that. I'm immediately redeemed, right? God accepts me back. My soul accepts me back. Boom, right away. Now, will there be testing? Yes, that is what you will find. You will find that there will be repeated testing. Are you sure? 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 Now, when Jesus says the gate is wide and the path broad, okay, the gate is wide and the path broad, I believe what he is referring to is this part of the human energy field, that we can live and exist in the outer parts of the human energy field with our point of consciousness, all the way from great density to a lighter stage. But until we make the conscious choice to actually connect with our own divinity and the living divinity that we are, and as a living human, we say, I choose to embody the divinity that I am. I make a choice now in this moment to consciously embody my soul to the greatest extent possible. And I understand that my soul is a living flame of the Most High God, the creator of all that is, the creator of all that is in my own source, the source of my soul. And I know that I'm worthy because I'm loved unconditionally by my own soul. And I'm loved unconditionally, and I have the capability as a living human to embody the light that I am, and I choose to do so now. And that's the process of entering the narrow gate here. And when Jesus says that the Father doesn't recognize us, what he's saying is from here, okay, from this place of grayness, the Father doesn't recognize us. Why? Because we have not chosen to embody the soul light that we are, okay, that enters the gate. It's this frequency that when we embody it, we expand in our energy field past the fourth dimension through the gate of the fifth dimension, and we are able to embody living divinity in human form. I'm literally seriously talking about that now. I believe that this is what Jesus did. And of course, he did it in perfection. And that's why he was equated with God, because he embodied that level of light. Now, I don't know what level of light each of us will be capable of embodying, but Jesus said this you can do and more. And he said that to the living human beings around him. So when he says, the Father says, I do not recognize you, it's because when you're out here in your energy field, you're not at the frequency required to be in this gate, to blend with that gate. So it's fascinating. And I'm not talking about entering the gate and dying. I'm talking about as a living human being that we enter within the gate through our own heart and we make a conscious choice to embody the light of our own soul.